YouTube, welcome back to Fight Class. Now today's topic is a little bit tougher. It's easy on paper, don't get me wrong, but it's harder to actually execute when you're playing, and that's repositioning. Now I thought a lot about this and I watched a lot of clips back in terms of, when do I reposition? How do I reposition? Why do I reposition? When do I not reposition? So I'm gonna break all of those things down for you. As always, if you like the video or find it helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so that you support. It helps a lot to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe and turn that notification bell on so that you don't miss any videos. Let's get into it. Now, you want to be repositioning throughout fights and be very careful about peeking and re-peeking the exact same spot, especially in duos, trios, and quads. Good team and a good player are going to communicate this out. They're probably going to get a live ping on you. They're going to push you, and then you're going to end up dying. At its basic, repositioning is a form of being unpredictable, which I talk about a lot. You want to be unpredictable in fights and keep your opponent guessing. So, kind of two ways that I reposition. Number one is to find a different angle, and number two is to push in. Now, go back to approaching a fight. I talked about fighting in the 20 to 30 meter range and then pushing in if you get a knock or broken armor. This is kind of the same thing. So when you are fighting in that 20 to 30 meter range, if you get a few armor tags or maybe you take damage a little bit, go ahead and reposition. Find a different angle. But if you get a knock, go ahead and push in. Reposition into that fight, closer into that fight, and then take it from there. So when we talk about how to reposition, we're really talking about finding a different angle or pushing in closer to the fight. Now, let's talk about when I reposition, and I broke this down into three things. Number one, if I shoot my gun, get a few armor tags, I'm going to go ahead and look to reposition. Why? I gave away my location. Now I want to change that up and go ahead and find a different spot. Number two, if I get a down or a thirst, again, a good team is going to communicate exactly where I am, behind the shack, around the building. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as an opportunity to reposition. Now, go back to how I reposition. Do I push in closer to the fight or do I find a different angle? It's a little bit of situation by situation. It's a little bit about what I feel comfortable, what you feel comfortable with. So there's not a specific answer there, but know that if you get a down or a thirst, you're going to want to go ahead and use this as an opportunity to reposition. And number three is if I get shot. At this point, if I take damage, this team knows where I am. There's a chance they push me. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, reposition, keep the opponent guessing, go ahead and find a different angle that I could potentially get a knock, maybe tag them for armor a little bit, and then the fight keeps going. But if I get shot, if I take damage, I want to go ahead and reposition in this scenario to keep that opponent guessing as to where I may be. Now let's talk about not repositioning. If you're in a really advantageous spot, maybe you're holding somebody out in the open, maybe you're on a rooftop, maybe you're holding circle, don't feel the need to go crazy repositioning. Yes, I would encourage you to peek slightly different angles. Don't peek the same window every time or the same exact angle, but don't go crazy here. You don't have to reposition buildings. You have the advantage. So just basically don't go down and you're able to hold that team. So peek slightly different angles, but don't go too crazy trying to overthink repositioning in that scenario. The last thing I'll leave you with, and I always say it, do not forget to position yourself with cover when repositioning. Yes, when you are repositioning, you should still be paying attention to where your cover is. As I always say, thank you for watching. I hope you found it helpful. Let's get better today and subscribe for more.